In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I bear witness there's no God but God, and Prophet Muhammad is his slave and messenger, and I seek refuge in Allah from rejected Satan. So in this video, I'll be discussing about how Imam Mahdi is here universally for all peoples, all creeds, all races, from the insects to the animals to beings beyond this world. Also, I'll be discussing about the divine law of reincarnation, and also I'll be discussing about how to defeat Gog and Magog in this video. So I have some very, very powerful Quran verses from Allah. He's blessed me with some guidance within these Quran verses. So let's get into it. Imam Mahdi the Mashiach is here for all peoples to help them bring them the truth, bring them the realization ultimately that Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, has power over all things, that we are within Allah, nothing is outside of Allah. A good symbolic thing to look at is maybe a lot of us have seen the Matrix movie. There's a famous line where there's a young child holding a spoon and he's bending it, and he says to realize the truth that there is no spoon. And the ultimate meaning of that is that there is no spoon. The real truth is to realize that there is only Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. Allah is everything. Allah has full control of everything, and to understand that realization. So we're going to go to the Quran verse, chapter 21, verse 94. So whoever does deeds of righteousness and is a believer will find there is no disapproval of his endeavors, and his strivings are not lost, and surely we are recorders of his virtues for him. So Allah is saying it doesn't matter if you're a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew or this or that, as long as you are a believer in Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, that He has oneness and full supreme control over all things, source, there's many different names attributed to the one and only God, that if you do good deeds and you believe in the oneness of Allah, Allah will not see any disapproval in you. And your endeavors, your good deeds will not be lost, and you will be rewarded in this world and in the next world, inshallah. So Imam Mahdi is here for all peoples. We're going to move on to the next subject, which is a divine law of reincarnation. Now, I know a lot of people do not believe in reincarnation, so try to hold this with an open mind. Allah says in Quran chapter 21, verse 95, "And it is not permissible to the people of a township who we have destroyed to come back to life of this world." So Allah is saying when He destroys the people of a township or a place that He has destroyed, they will not come back to this world again. He will not give them life again to come back in this world. So Allah is implicitly saying that they will not reincarnate back into this world again if He destroys them completely, like the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. Those people will not be able to reincarnate back in here into this world again. Allah may let them reincarnate on a different planet of this universe or in another universe, or may sentence them to the day of judgment, and from there they could be put in the hellfire for their wrongdoings for a long time until all their maladies and impurities are cured from them. And then after that point, maybe they will enter paradise, or they will reincarnate again into another planet or another place. So it's very understandable. Let me just say that, read this verse one more time, so let it sink in. "And it is not permissible to the people of a township who we have destroyed to come back to life of this world." So just let that sink in a little bit. So we're going to move on. This ties in with the next verse, chapter 21, verse 96, which discusses about Gog and Magog, and how to defeat Gog and Magog, and how this law of reincarnation will remain in force towards the people of Gog and Magog. So Allah says in Quran chapter 21, verse 96, this inviolable law will remain in force, which he's talking about the divine law of reincarnation. This inviolable law will remain in force even when the great powers like Gog and Magog are let loose and come crashing down from every height and from every crest, from every wave, and when they occupy every point of vantage, dominating the world, and when they excel all other nations. So the people of Gog and Magog, the people who are in the extreme of materialism, in the extreme of falsehoods, this law of reincarnation, they will not be allowed to reincarnate back into this world. So in the next verse, chapter 21, verse 97, and when the time of the fulfillment of the true promise about the destruction of the forces of falsehood and materialism as represented by Gog and Magog draws near, so we are in that time. Their time is coming to an end. Alhamdulillah. Behold, the eyes of those who do not believe in the triumph of truth will be transfixed, and they exclaim, ah, woe to us! We were really forgetful of this day. Nay, we are of course unjust. So Allah is saying, to defeat Gog and Magog, He is saying, the eyes of those who do not believe in the triumph of truth, that is the key. Truth. Truth is the key to defeating Gog and Magog, to dispel their falsehoods and their extreme materialism. As Allah says in chapter 17, verse 81, and say, truth has come and falsehood has vanished away. Falsehood is indeed ever bound to vanish away. So, to recognize the people of Gog and Magog is to see those who are steeped in materialism. They are blinded by materialism. They are constantly liars. They are lying through their teeth like there's no tomorrow. And we can see a lot of people, especially in this political world, that are constantly lying. They want more money. They want more power. And they are neglecting Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. They are blinded to the truth that Allah is the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the all-seeing, the all-hearing. Allah is everything. We are within Allah. Allah is the regulator of all affairs, and He does no injustice to no one ever. So in the next verse, Allah says, it will be said to them, surely you and the things which you worship apart from Allah are of course fuel of the hellfire where you shall enter. So, message to you, Gog and Magog. You will be the fuel of the hellfire. Surely you and the things which you worship apart from Allah, like money, like your own deeds, like your own, not your own deeds, but your own nafs, your own desires, will be the fuel of the hellfire. All the things that you associated outside of Allah, like the legislators you take as your gods, you impose your false legislation upon those with force, with extortion and violence, imprisonment and duress and coercion. So Allah says in the next chapter, 99, had these things been true gods, as you claim it to be, they would not have come to it. So if they really believed that these were their gods, they would not have turned to these gods, their fake gods. But as it is, they shall all enter it and abide in it for long. So the people of Gog and Magog are on the way out. We're going to bring the truth. Truth will set you free. We're going to realize that Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, has power over all things, and that He regulates all affairs, and He does injustice to no one ever. So we have to realize the law of cause and consequence. as Allah says in chapter 95, verse 5, then according to our law of cause and consequence, we degrade him to the lowest of the low if he does evil deeds. So we need to understand these divine laws, which I'm coming out with a divine book of law for the Quran, for the Torah, and for the Christians as well, which will be a combination of the Torah and the Gospels of Jesus, and to help people realize the truth, understand the truth, implement the truth, live the truth, and be closer to Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take Allah as your shield. May we increase in guidance, knowledge, and light, and become closer with Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. And may we see the demise of falsehood and materialism, which is Gog and Magog of this world, inshallah. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.